Good afternoon and welcome to Ewood Park for this Barclays League second division match between Blackburn Rovers and AFC Bournemouth. Going through our two lineups today, starting with the Rovers. Number 1, Terry Geno. 2, Mark Atkins. 3, Chris Sully. 4, Nicky Reid. 5, Kevin Morrell. 6, David Mayle. 7, Andy Kennedy. 8, John Miller. 9, Frank Stapleton. 10, Howard Gale. 11, Scott Sellers. And the two substitutes at number 12, Tony Finnegan, and 14, Simon Garner, presumably not completely recovered from his injury and on the bench as a precaution today. Let's hope he doesn't come on, because that will mean the Rovers are winning comfortably. And now the Bournemouth lineup. 1, Jerry Peyton. 2, Kevin Bond. 3, Paul Morrell. 4, Sean Teale. 5, John Williams. 6, Gavin Peacock. 7, George Lawrence. 8, Paul Moulden. 9, Peter Shearer. 10, Matthew Holmes. 11, Luther Blissett. 12, Mark Newson, and the other substitute at 14, Trevor Aylott, who's actually not made a single appearance through injury for Bournemouth this season. So that's one person who will be glad if he gets the opportunity to get on the pitch today. And I suppose we can expect some shouts of Burnley reject once Jerry Peyton reaches the Blackburn end of the ground. Jerry, of course, an ex-Burnley goalkeeper, and then moved on for a long spell with Fulham. I suppose the big danger to the Rovers in the Bournemouth lineup must be the ex-England international at number 11, Luther Blissett, who has already found the net 16 times this season, although 2 of those were penalties. And the other striker alongside him is Paul Moulden, with also double figures in goals. He in fact has got 10 goals so far this season. Ex-Manchester City, of course, big signing during the close season in exchange for Ian Bishop. And we're just about to get the match underway with our referee, Mr. Mike Reid from Birmingham, just checking his watch to make sure we kick off spot on 3 o'clock. And away we go with Howard Gale playing it back to Mark Atkins over on the right hand side. He plays it forward, trying to find Kennedy. He's moved out to the wing, suspicion of handball, and it's confirmed. Free kick to the Rovers, about 10-15 yards outside the box on the right hand side. Frank Stapleton leaving it, taking his place in the middle of the box. So it's Atkins to take it. Kevin Morrell up from the back. Crowded penalty area. Stapleton heads it on, but it just runs well wide of the goal. Well, if we had a match as good as we had in the first encounter down at Dean Court, then we're in for a cracking game. The Rovers won 4-2, with Stapleton scoring his first league goal for them. The others coming from Reid, Kennedy and Sellers, with replies from Peacock and Blissett for Bournemouth. Played in an absolute downpour, which I'm sure many of the fans who made the long trip down south will remember. But today we've got a lovely day. Clouds seem pretty high, doesn't seem any danger of rain, and we should have ideal conditions for this match. Kennedy winning it on to Sellers, to Miller, and on this left hand side Sully, who goes for the return now, but Kennedy tries to take it off him and it runs out of play off George Lawrence for a throw into the Rovers, which Chris Sully will take. Kennedy moves towards him, but he throws it short to Sellers, but a poor return ball whacked downfield by Kevin Bond, and it comes off half of Mayle's head, and Kevin Morrell plays it back to him. I was going to say he completes the clearance, but in fact he made an absolute hash of it and put it out to play for a throw. To be taken by the Bournemouth captain, Another ex-Manchester City player in this lineup, Kevin Bond, who heads it forward again, but Sellers picks it up and back to Sully. Miller looking for support, nobody there. He tries to find Gale, but the flag goes up, and it's the first offside decision of the match. Quite surprising looking at this Bournemouth lineup that, going on for half the side, have actually played with northern clubs. Bond's free kick to the edge of the box, flicked on by Williams, loose to Peter Shearer, but a timely tackle there by David Mill, puts the ball behind for the first corner of the match. Matthew Holmes coming across to take it. Puts it to the near post. Stapleton heads it clear, but only to the edge of the box. Paul Moulden, another ex-Manchester City man, Nicky Reed, beats him to it, but the ball runs away for a corner, so Matthew Holmes can see if he can improve on his previous one. John Williams has stayed up on the near post, and that's where the ball's going now, but it's over him, and Mail heads it to the edge of the box, and Peter Shearer puts it wide. Had the power but not the accuracy, so Terry Geno still to be tested. Of course, talking about players who've got into double figures in goals, we've got two in the Rovers lineup, Andy Kennedy and Scott Sellers, both having got 10. So there shouldn't be a shortage of goals this afternoon. Free kick given for the foul by Sean Teale. Two men either side of the box. Kennedy flicks it on. Well, I would have thought that John Williams had his foot high there, but the referee decided that it was Kennedy who put his head down, and the free kick goes Bournemouth's way. Gavin Peacock playing it wide. Out to Paul Morrell. Cuts inside and plays it back to Gavin Peacock. And that ball forward, although it finds Paul Moulden, he's in an offside position. Mill just plays it back to Geno. He signals the rest of the team forward. Push up towards the halfway line. Everything concentrated. 10 yards either side of the halfway line. Kennedy looks for the free kick for the foul by Williams, but doesn't get it. And Blissett flicks it on to Moulden. Fails to find Lawrence. Sellers intercepts. Puts it up the line, trying to find Howard Gale. And Bond puts it forward. Blissett steps over it. And Moulden finds him with the return, but he wastes it and it runs away for a goal kick. Shearer up, beating Miller but fouling him at the same time. We've had a welter of free kicks in the first 5 minutes of this match. Hope this doesn't continue, we get more flow to the game. Mail looking for Stapleton, flicks it on. Howard Gale tries an overhead shot. Sellers in charge with the goalkeeper Peyton, but he gets his body between him and the ball and collects it. Peyton puts a long ball downfield, trying to find Lawrence. And Blissett puts it out. Sully puts it back to Mail, who'll presumably look for Geno. Yes, he does. Well, a lot quieter opening than last week. By this stage, Kennedy had missed an absolute sitter. We'd missed a penalty and Kennedy had put us 1-0 up. So it's been a very, I suppose any match would have a quieter opening than that one. Teale with the throw down the line. Blissett's left his marker, puts it in the middle to Moulden. Geno slides out at his feet and collects. Could be a very dangerous combination, these two though, Blissett and Moulden. Poor ball through and Sean Teale lets it go past. Peyton puts it out to Bond, but the challenge comes in from Howard Gale and he'll presumably just push it straight back again. This time the free kick goes Bournemouth's way. Morrell on Moulden. And it's Gavin Peacock to take it as John Williams makes his way up into the box. Absolutely crowded in the middle of that box there, about 7 or 8 players all in a bunch. Ball goes straight past them all, amazingly enough, but John Williams had pushed. You just wonder when this welter of free kicks is going to come to an end. Should be a plenty of goals today though. Rovers matches have contained 93 goals so far this season. The Rovers having clocked up the 50 with the third one against Stoke last week. And Bournemouth's matches have contained 88 goals. 43 of them from Bournemouth and 45 from the opposition. So like I said, we should have plenty of goal opportunities today. Both forward lines lethal and both defences full of holes by the sound of it. Ball runs loose now to Sellers. He shoots, but Peyton holds it quite comfortably above his head as the ball broke from a bunch of players on the edge of the box and gave Sellers the chance for a first time snapshot. Sellers in the action again. Sully putting the ball high down the wing, but out of play. Bond down the line. Lawrence up, but he's beaten to it by Sully. Now it's Paul Moulden to his partner up front, Blissett. Overlap from Gavin Peacock, and the free kick's given. Just got tapped as the ball was played to him then. You may not have seen it, it was off the ball as he made the break down this right hand side of the pitch. Even in the early stage of the match we can see that Blissett is very good at losing his marker, coming off him and finding space, and lays the ball off nicely. Bond to the far side of the box, Williams up, heads inside, but that whistle goes again. And it's a free kick to give the opportunity to the Rovers to clear the danger. Atkins ignores the route to goal and pushes it forward to Nicky Reid. Plays it wide to us, a bit short though. In goes the challenge from Matthew Holmes, but it's run out of play. Stapleton loses out to the challenge. And it's Shearer playing it back to Bond. Sean Teale plays it wide to Paul Morrell. Puts it down the line but inaccurately. And now has the chance to take a throw. Paul Moulden. Blissett, yes, on the run past him. Moran's gone over to challenge him though, but has to concede the corner. Two very experienced players together in that challenge, of course. In comes the corner, flicked on by Williams, but away from these two fellow strikers. Lawrence trying to take on Miller, tries to nutmeg him, but Miller blocked it and clears away for a throw. Kevin Bond inside, finds Peacock, now over to Shearer. Matthew Holmes taken down there by John Miller in a far more dangerous position than any other free kick has been so far. Just about 10 yards outside the Rovers box. George Lawrence, Matthew Holmes and Sean Teale over it, along with Gavin Peacock. And it's Sean Teale who takes it, but it hits the wall and half cleared away. Bond with it, urging Lawrence down the line, but he stays close to him instead. Peacock is unmarked inside, but his cross is far too long, and Kennedy picks it up on the right hand side of the box. And very fortunate as he scuffs his clearance to see it reach Nicky Reid. And now Stapleton, who's playing in midfield. Kennedy and Howard Gale are playing as the front strikers. Stapleton, I suppose, will mainly play on the right hand side in midfield, with Sellers coming down the left. Bit of confusion as to whether that's a throw or a free kick for handball, but it's a throw. Atkins down the line, Kennedy there, beaten to it though. Stapleton fails to find Nicky Reid. Peacock cooks it out. Now Holmes to Blissett. Holds off the challenge from Nicky Reid. But a poor ball cut out by Stapleton. Push wide to Atkins. Looks inside and finds Kennedy. Shearer. Yet again, another number 9 playing in midfield. Gets quite confusing with these modern tactics. You expect the number 9 to be foraging down the middle, and instead you find them in midfield. Bond down the line to Lawrence, who flicks it on. Moulden beaten by Mail though. And the ball runs out off Chris Sully, so that Bond can come forward and try to keep a bit of sustained pressure on the Rovers goal. Neither team has achieved that so far in a very scrappy start to the match. Long ball through, but Geno will get that. Throws it out to Atkins. Howard Gale loses control, and Sean Teale puts it forward. Peacock. Nice piece of play there. He tries to find Blissett. The tackle from Stapleton robs it. Long dangerous ball downfield, bounces back over Kennedy's head, but he's still got possession. Chance of a shot, but I think he was having to swing his leg a little bit too much, and although he got the direction, there was no power in it whatsoever, and just bobbled along the ground to Peyton. Peacock pushing it wide, and another free kick for the foul on Stapleton. Well, just quarter of an hour gone and not much action to talk about so far, and as you might expect, the game remains goalless for the time being. Poor ball there though, gives Stapleton the chance to create an opening. Goes to the byline, beaten by Morrell but retains possession. Atkins, low ball into the box. Sellers turns. I was just going to say it's on his wrong foot, but he turned the other way to put it on his left, and Miller fails to find Kennedy over the far side, and it's Lawrence coming away. Coming inside, Miller and Reid. Looks wide. He could have put Moulden away if the pass had been better. Frustration showing on Moulden's face there. Had the chance there to put the ball inside the full back and give him a run on goal, but too much power in it. Williams and Kennedy, but Williams wins it. Atkins up in the air. Just wait to see which way this ball breaks. Everybody's having a dabble at it at the moment. Now it's Nicky Reid. Well, that ball's too far ahead of anybody. Runs through to Jerry Peyton in the Bournemouth goal. Long ball downfield. Lawrence on his own, flicks it on to Blissett. Yet again had left his marker, David Mail. Peacock seems to love coming up into midfield despite the fact he's a central defender. Long ball forward from Morrell. Straight into Geno's arms, outstretched arms. This ball trying to find Howard Gale, but Morrell cuts it out. Atkins puts it forward to Kennedy. Holds off the challenge from Williams and finds Sellers going down the right hand side. He'll try and cut back if he can, which he does. Stapleton with a cross. Dangerous one, but Teale cut it out at the expense of a throw. Atkins and Stapleton combining in a couple of 1-2s. Atkins loses his balance. David Mail launches a high ball to the edge of the box. Williams heads it away, and Atkins, looking for his 4th goal of the season, puts it way over the top into the crowd behind the Blackburn end goal. Lawrence up, flicks it on, but it's only found Atkins. Lets the ball bounce, then tries to put it down the line, but puts it over the touchline. Morrell with the throw, just on the halfway line. Upfield to Moulden. Teale inside him, but he's beaten to it. And now the Rovers had a chance through Kennedy. Picking up that pass back to him from Howard Gale. 2 men streaming in the middle. Can Kennedy get the cross in? Yes, he can, but Nicky Reid denied by that flick header from Williams. Nice move that from the Rovers. Nearly produced the dividends. Beginning to get a few more accurate crosses in now and put a bit more pressure on this Bournemouth defence. John Miller to take the corner. In it goes, Gale on the near post. Nicky Reid coming on this, playing it wide to Miller. Taking on Lawrence, but decides to give it to Reid inside. Everybody in the box marked, and that's headed out towards the edge of that box and falls loose to Miller. Reid. Mail further over. Looking up the line, but there's nobody there, so he plays it right into the middle of the box. Williams wins it. And Blissett miskicks and loses out to Miller. Stapleton runs loose to Miller, puts in a good shot under challenge, and the ball goes over the bar. But at least we're beginning to see some attacking moves from the Rovers at last, as we just about reached the halfway point in this first half. Blissett plays it back to Shearer, to Holmes, who plays it further over to Morrell. Looking for runners, but while he does so, he's robbed by Stapleton. Just lost his concentration for a moment there, Morrell. May pay the penalty. Gale goes down under the challenge, but advantage played. Mail to Sully. Sellers is on the left wing here, but a poor ball straight to Kevin Bond's feet. Sellers had gone about 5 yards beyond him, hoping for a ball over the top, which didn't come. And now it's attacked from the other end. Moulden loose on the edge of the box, shoots. Well, nobody can tell where that one would have gone. It hit Blissett and rebounded wide, and in fact Blissett was in an offside position anyway. First time we've seen the danger from Paul Moulden there. Always prepared to have a crack at goal. Stapleton flicks on, but the challenge is an unfair one again from Morrell. Let's see if the Rovers can make something of this free kick. Got 3 men over the left hand side of the box, goes over to the right to Kennedy. Ball runs off his thigh and Peacock puts it down the line. Moulden can't keep it in. I would have thought we'd gain about 15 yards there, but we won't complain. Kennedy. Poor ball. Nicky Reid. That ball's going to stay in. Teale has to play it away. And boy oh boy did he make sure he played it away. Little tap into touch would have done there easily. Just making sure his defence gets organised, I suppose, behind him. As Howard Gale plays it back to Atkins. Nobody further up the line for him. He's got to come inside. And Shearer puts it up in the air about halfway inside the Bournemouth half. Gale flicks it on and Stapleton runs over behind him and collects it. Plays it back to Gale. First time cross. Sellers. Blocked by Bond. Runs loose to Miller. Tries to play it inside the full-back to Howard Gale. But the full-back intercepts. And Moulden plays it wide to Lawrence. And now we've got Bournemouth on the break. Move come to an end. Poor back pass from Nicky Reid. Could have been an absolute disaster there. There are two options open. Either Blissett could have latched onto it and pushed it into an empty net, or Geno could have failed to get back fast enough and it could have been an own goal. We've given away some daft goals this season, but that would have been about the daftest of the lot. Never looked up at all, Nicky Reid just played it back and nearly presented Bournemouth with the opening goal. Atkins inside. Peacock picks it up, but the whistle goes again. Miller turns to the referee in exasperation. Doesn't get any sympathy at all. In fact, I think he's going to get a bit of a talking to. Can't blame him for the frustration though. This game being constantly interrupted by the referee's whistle. One free kick after another. Two attacking sides like these, we've come looking for an entertaining game. Just being robbed of it at the moment with a persistent whistle. And that ball's not going to find Kennedy. It's another thing that's not helping the game, the poor passing by both teams. Williams only finds Sully, who in turn only finds Bond. Kevin Morrell not making the same mistake as Nicky Reid, realising that Luther Blissett was lurking behind him. He turned away and took the ball upfield and gained the free kick. Of course, we've got continental connections out here today as well. Kevin Morrell having been in Spain with Sporting Gijón, Frank Stapleton in Holland with Ajax, and then in France with Le Havre, and of course Luther Blissett in Italy with AC Milan. And here they are in warm, homely Lancashire at Ewood Park, Blackburn. Sellers, chance to run at last, but three men around him. Lawrence, Bond and Peacock. But he finds Reid, puts it to Sully. Flag goes up and Gale is given offside. Luther Blissett spent that time at AC Milan in between two lengthy spells with Watford. He made 250 appearances in his first spell there, then moved to AC Milan, trouble with injury, only made 30 appearances with AC Milan, and returned to Watford where he made a further 125 appearances before moving on to Bournemouth at the start of last season. Moulden offside this time, and of course made a number of appearances in the England side. David Mail plants the ball down that far right hand corner, but it runs away from Stapleton. Morrell up the line. Moulden, where he loses out. Stapleton rolls it back with his foot, then plays it forward to Atkins. Plays a 1-2 with Kennedy. Doesn't pay off though. Morrell up the line to Blissett. Quick challenge from Mail, but he takes him on beautifully. Just slid past him there as though he wasn't there. And now Lawrence. Real class shown there. Well, Bond was completely unmarked, overlapping down this right hand side, and why Lawrence didn't give it to him I'll never understand. And I'm sure that applies equally so to Kevin Bond. And I'm sure we'll exchange a few words with him next time he gets the opportunity. Now it's Rovers on the break, but Williams is going to win that. Well, first bit of classy play there from Luther Blissett. Bond flicks on. Poor ball though. Gale can't pick it up, but he's fouled. Shearer giving a few disbelieving looks at the referee, but accepts the decision and wanders back to a defensive position. Gale up with Williams, pushed in the back. First opportunity for the Rovers to take a free kick in a dangerous position for Bournemouth. Just about 2 yards outside the box. I should think there are a few faint hearts in the Rovers side as well as the crowd. I'm sure Howard Gale, who I presume is the penalty taker at the moment, was a bit relieved that he wasn't 4 yards further forward. Otherwise his heart might have been missing a beat as he tried to take a penalty. Although he succeeded last week. Sellers tries to find the top corner, which is his favourite target, but misses it by about 2 yards. Well, the Rovers will be looking for another 3 points today after a convincing 3-0 win against a very poor Stoke City side last week. I think the opposition is not going to lie down and die quite as easily today. Shearer flicks it on. And there goes that whistle again. Atkins puts it down the line, trying to find Kennedy. Kennedy boxed in the corner. Morrell and Teale around him, but he managed to get his cross in. Shearer clears. Reed puts it over. Sellers clattered in the challenge, ends up on the deck. No foul given. And Williams partly clears it, and Lawrence completes the clearance up to the halfway line. Stapleton, robbed by Holmes, puts it out to Moulden. Holmes going in the middle, but he would never had any chance of reaching that. Well, I presume it was a shot, but he had no chance of scoring from that angle against a goalkeeper of Geno's experience. Over the heads, Williams heads it on. He's winning most of the challenges in the air against Howard Gale. And there's another offside flag. I think Paul Moulden's been the main culprit so far. Just wonder with Williams' power in the air if the Rovers wouldn't be better trying to find Howard Gale along the ground, or better still switching over Kennedy and Gale so Kennedy can try and compete with Williams in the air. Kevin Bond puts it wide with his clearance, and the throw goes the Rovers' way, keeping the pressure on this defence. No David May, of course, to take the long ones, so it's Atkins to take a short one. Stapleton supporting him, cuts it back from the byline. Shearer heads away though, finds Blissett, and Moulden moved into a nice position over the left hand side there in support of Blissett, knowing he was going to put it down the line for him. Long throw, cut out by Morrell. A good job too, because Blissett has slipped round the side of him. Morrell up to Moulden, covered by Mail, but there's very little cover in the middle. Blissett puts it across. Lawrence blocked there by Chris Sully, and as I said, there was very little cover in the middle, and it's a good job Chris Sully was covering in the centre and managed to block that ball as Lawrence moved on to it. Long throw by Morrell. Geno foul, surely. Don't think anybody will protest about that free kick. Ball in the net for the first time. Brings a few ironic cheers from the travelling Bournemouth supporters. Miller tries to flick it on, but gets more of a head on it than he expected. And Reid puts it downfield, but Williams wins the challenge against Kennedy. Now can Sellers latch onto this one? No, Kevin Bond beats him to it. Oh, just talking about possibly switching over Kennedy to try and beat Williams in the air. And that probably proves me wrong, because they were in direct competition there and Williams won it. Lawrence inside. Finds Shearer. Holmes with Morrell with plenty of room over that left-hand side. He's taking advantage of it as well. Moving forward until he tries to find Moulden. Ball runs past. Blissett tries to lob it over Geno's head, but has too much power and it carries it over the bar. Sure, Moulden will claim he dummied that one to give Blissett the opportunity, but I'll take quite a bit of convincing. I'm certain that he just went down in the challenge from Atkins as a pure accident and the ball made its way through to Blissett. Williams wins the challenge in the air again. Sellers backheels it. Nice bit of skill from the number 11 on the Rovers side this time. Nobody showing for Sulla here. Sellers does now, but Blissett quickly in on him. In little room up the line. Pushes it up, but Rovers coming forward now. Williams dominated in the air for Bournemouth. Nicky Reid, 2 for forward. And Sean Teale plays it back. Pretty close to each other in the table, these two. Only 3 points between them. Rovers have got 39 points and Bournemouth 36 from the same number of games, 27. And this evens up each team's programme. They'll both have played 14 at home and 14 away after this match. Sellers up to Kennedy. 1-2 back to Sellers. Looks wide over the right hand side. Stapleton's taking up a good position. Cross coming in. Miller underneath it. But Peyton's out and collects it. Although takes a heavy collision with John Miller, but holds on to the ball and plants it downfield. Blissett flicks on. Cut out by Stapleton. Doing a good job defensively, Stapleton, today. Number of times that he's cut out moves before they've properly developed. Seems to be comfortably settled in midfield now, having had a spell up front. Now it seems to have been decided that midfield is the best position for him. Sellers looks left, finds Kennedy, brings it down on his chest, plays it wide. Stapleton up in support. Now Atkins, long ball over. Kennedy runs away from Sellers, and it's a corner off John Williams' head. Strangely, for the second time on this side of the pitch, John Miller's coming over to take the corner. It's normally Sellers who whips it in with his left foot. Obviously decided to vary the tactics, and Miller puts this one over to the near side. Kennedy flicks it on, and Bournemouth quite relieved to see Matthew Holmes whack it away for another one. Very dangerous flick on by Kennedy, with players coming in on the far post. And this time it's Stapleton, tries a direct header on goal, but is penalised for pushing George Lawrence. 2 good corners there though. Well placed, created quite a bit of danger, and put the Bournemouth defence under pressure. David Mail wins it up to Howard Gale. Kennedy on a run, finds him, brings it down on his thigh, looks for support, finds it in Nicky Reid. And Jerry Peyton had to get down very quickly to his right hand side there to drop on that ball, and held it very well with Howard Gale following up. Nicky Reid got a goal. He doesn't score very many. He's only got 2 this season, and one of them was at Bournemouth. Obviously has a liking for this opposition, and very nearly opened the Rovers account this afternoon. And meanwhile, it's a free kick to Bournemouth. Morrell to take it. Lawrence up, flicks off his head, harmlessly away for a goal kick. Well, these two teams have hovered around the fringe of the promotion race all season without getting in the middle of it. They build the supporters up one week with a good performance and a good result, and then have a flat display the following week and drop back out of the promotion pack. So it's very important for both teams to win today and try and get in touch with the top 6. I think Leeds and Sheffield United are too far away to be caught now if you're talking realistically, but there's still the 4 playoff spots to go for, and Newcastle are only 2 points above the Rovers with 41 in 6th position. So the opportunity is there today, with Newcastle playing Sunderland tomorrow, for the Rovers to move ahead of Newcastle, even if only temporarily, if they can pull off a victory today. David Mail to take this. Stapleton. Williams beats him to it, and in fact Stapleton's penalised. Seems as though every time there's any bodily contact, that whistle blows. You're beginning to curse the guy who invented such a thing as a P. Well, the number of goals involved in these two teams this season, I never thought we'd reach half-time goalless, but with only just over 5 minutes left, it looks as though that's going to be the case. Perhaps they're waiting for the floodgates to open in the second half. Let's hope so. Bond launches it forward. Williams on the edge of the box, beaten by Morrell, and Reid clears up to Howard Gale, who flicks it on. But everybody was back in defensive positions, nobody up in support, and Morrell all the time in the world to clear it up to Peacock. And he finds himself in exactly the same position, no support, and the Rovers have the opportunity to start an attack. Gale tries to flick it on, but cut out, and it's Shearer beaten in the challenge by Sully, and David Mail plays it inside to Morrell. Takes a bit of a risk with Moulden alongside him, but it pays off. Ball goes through, Williams cuts it out, and Shearer plays it back to Morrell, who in turn puts it back to Jerry Peyton. And of course, as you might expect, the protests coming from the Rovers fans as Bournemouth take the time over getting the ball back in play. Long ball downfield, but Morrell's under it. Only clears as far as Shearer though. Holmes flicks it on, but fails to find a forward. And Stapleton back to Morrell. Plays it upfield to Kennedy, who inadvertently finds Reid. Smashed it straight at his chest. Stapleton inside, flicked on by Gale. Oh, what a pity! Well, we've complained about the referee interfering with the game, keep blowing his whistle, and now he planted himself, I'm sure by accident, right in John Miller's path. and Scott Sellers was completely unmarked over this left-hand side and would have been put clean in on goal, and presumably that's why his frustration has bubbled over and he's had a few unkind words to the referee about how he should avoid interfering with play, and a very promising Rovers move came to an end. What a pity. Still, having refereed myself, I've got in that position many a time, so I can sympathise with the referee. Very awkward when you stood there and somebody plays the ball straight at you. You've no chance whatsoever of getting out of the way, and if you try to, as he did on that occasion, you tend to move right in the path of the player. Sully puts the ball in, good cross, but Peyton cut it out before any danger could develop. Well, there must have been a shout from Morrell, but I don't understand why, because Blissett was stood right alongside him then. It was a lot easier for Nicky Reid to clear them all than it was for him. Sellers looking aghast at that decision. I don't think the referee will be the most popular guy as he comes off this pitch. He's done a lot to contribute to the scrappy play in the first 45 minutes, which are very quickly coming to an end now. Just over a minute left. Lawrence, bomb behind him, he fails to find him. Miller holds off the challenge from Lawrence but can't keep the ball in play. Quite a lot of frustration out there this afternoon. Definitely needs a goal to calm the game down, bring a bit more cohesion into it. Well, let's hope it doesn't come Bournemouth's way. Holmes yet again to take this corner, with Williams positioned on the near post, going up for it now. Nicky Reid beats him in the air, but only gives Holmes the opportunity to try again. In it comes, tries to find Williams again, flicks it over the far side and Morrell catches it in the face. He's spilt plenty of blood for Manchester United. He spilt a few droplets, I think. He was very bravely said last week, and has now caught another one in the face. Very brave player, always prepared to put his head in, even if the boots are flying, as they were on that occasion. Absolutely determined to defend his goal, even at the cost of a few stitches. I suppose once you've played that Irish game, hurling or whatever it's called, then this must be a real sissy's game, football. So that won't trouble Morrell at all, as he comes off the pitch now rubbing his head after a bitterly disappointing and scrappy first half. Goal opportunities at a premium, and we're still waiting for that opening goal as the two teams go in with a scoreline of Blackburn Rovers 0, AFC Bournemouth 0. And if we ain't got a minute, we might hear the boos of the crowd as the referee comes on the pitch, who hasn't helped the flow of the game one little bit. There they are. I thought they wouldn't be long in coming. Yep. They were ready to start the second half. Bournemouth to kick off. Looks as though we've got the same personnel out on the pitch as we had at the end of the first half. No substitutes are putting in appearances yet. I'm particularly interested to see Moran still on after the bang he got just on half time. fact, putting in a good strong challenge there on Shearer. Morrell down the line, but only finds Moran's forehead. Up to Kennedy, plays it quickly to Gale, sets off downfield. Gale holds on to it, now plays it inside to Nicky Reid, and that catches Kennedy on the wrong foot. He'd pull back when the initial pass didn't find him. Mon back to Peyton. He puts it downfield, straight on the halfway line. Lawrence flicks it on. And it looks as though he's come out in the second half in the same mood as he did the first, as the first physical challenge results in a free kick. And David Mayle pushes it wide to Moran, sorry. Get the pronunciation right. Kennedy fails to find Stapleton. Holmes beaten in the challenge by Atkins. Gill holds off Williams but fails to find Kennedy. And now it's up to Moulden, who ends up fouling David Mayle. Played wide to Sully. Lawrence closes him down, but he pushes it upfield to Gale, who holds off the challenge from Williams. Cuts inside and plays it wider to Moran. Down the line to Kennedy, who pushes it further over this side to Atkins. Nice cross into the box. Gale beaten to it by Williams though. Sellers picks up the loose ball. Miller inside, where he's forced away from the danger area by Lawrence. And another free kick. Quickly taken, but not too quickly to fool Moulden, who gets back and cuts off Sully as he tries to come inside. Sully with a throw to Sellers. Goes past Lawrence. High ball over. Williams gets a very important header on it to flick it out of Kennedy's path. And Shearer puts the ball out of play. Very good cross there. Very nearly found Kennedy with the opportunity to put the ball in the net, but Williams beat him to it. Atkins inside to Reid. Moran puts it forward, but Shearer cuts it out. Reid to Gale. Now Kennedy on the ball. Tries to go outside his man. Route blocked. But Sellers to Gale, who has a chance to turn on it. His shot blocked by Williams. Miller plays it wide. But Bond first to it and plays it back to Peyton. And that must be a free kick, yes. Moran on Blissett. Taken quickly. Out to Morrell. Cuts inside. Somebody will have to close him down. They don't do, and he plays a nice 1-2. Goes on. Ball runs loose and it's in the back of the net. Paul Moulden opens the scoring for Bournemouth. Well, I thought Nicky Reid should have come to Paul Morrell there, but instead he allowed him to go on. He played a 1-2 with Paul Moulden. And when Morrell's shot was blocked, it ran loose to Moulden, and he placed it into the corner of the empty net to open the scoring. Just 4 minutes into the second half. Rovers 0, Bournemouth 1. Paul Moulden the scorer. Very untidy goal. But I suppose it just fits into the context of the play that we've seen so far. And that was Moulden's 11th goal of the season. Stapleton trying to get the Rovers moving forward now. Miller out to Atkins, who returns it to him. And again. Miller gone down the line, but Atkins tries a long cross. It could have been left to Peyton, but Peacock wasn't aware of that. There mustn't have been a shout. And the ball's now loose over on this side to Stapleton. And another free kick as Lawrence taps his ankle. Shearer, sorry, taps his ankle. And Atkins has the opportunity to put another cross in from this free kick. Crowded penalty area, too short. Atkins now the chance to go down the line. Bit of a tangle there with Paul Moulden. Just results in a throw to the Rovers. Every Rovers player marked. Throws it long to Stapleton, who heads inside. And as Holmes clears, Reid catches him. And the result is a free kick on the edge of the box. One personal disappointment for me today was that Paul Moulden wasn't up against Keith Hill. I just spent a long time refereeing in the Bolton combination and had many a clash between the fathers, Tony Moulden and Keith Hill. So it would have been interesting to see the two sons out there this afternoon. But injury to Keith Hill prevents that taking place. Rovers now need to lift the game, put some promising attacks together and crosses in the first half without really threatening Peyton. But striding away now through midfield comes Nick Reid, playing it wide to Sellers, cutting inside, playing it outside to Miller. Men in the box, but the cross is blocked, goes off Williams' chest, resulted in a corner yet again to be taken by Miller. Near post, Gale gets a head on it, but it's that man again, Williams, clearing it out for a throw. Blissett hoping to get a free kick, but not on this occasion. Gale a bit slow on the turn there, and it's Lawrence coming away with Moulden and Shearer breaking ahead of him. That ball nearly found Shearer, but Nicky Reid, 1 minute up in support of his forwards, is then 70 yards back in his own penalty area. Unfair criticism coming in from the Rovers supporters behind that goal. Done a tremendous job to cover all that ground and get back and cover a hole that had developed on that side of the Rovers defence. Nice ball through there from Moulden, trying to find Blissett, but Mail cuts it out and Ghetto clears downfield. 3 men forward from the Rovers. Williams heads it onto the back of Gale's head, and Gale plays it to Sellers. Under challenge from Kevin Bond. Fair challenge. Greater weight of Kevin Bond made sure that challenge went his way. Stapleton brings it down. 2 men on him though. Finds Kennedy. Ball pushed inside to Gale. Miller finds Sully, who's got some space to move in. Nice ball to Nicky Reid, but an offside flag. Presume it was against Kennedy. That's where the free kick's been taken from anyway. Morrell and Blissett clash, but the ball runs loose. Finally picked up by Frank Stapleton. Inside to Sellers. Hard challenge by Blissett and then by Moulden, but he holds them both off. But Atkins can't prevent the ball going out of play. Surely we're not in for another disappointing result. There have been so many here at Ewood Park this season. You hoped after a 3-0 win last week that the Rovers had turned the corner. And we're now going to put a few successive wins together here at Ewood Park. Still plenty of time for them to pull this game out of the fire, of course. But not much sign of a goal coming as yet. Atkins to the edge of the box, but only finds Shearer, who heads it clear. Atkins with another opportunity. Plays along the ground this time to our Gale. Runs loose to Blissett. Tries to put it inside to Lawrence, but it's intercepted by Sully. Very hard challenge there by Sellers, but nothing given as Bond cleared the ball. Bond gingerly rubs his ankle, feeling the effects of that. Blissett flicks it on. Although Moulden held off Morrell, the ball just finished up out of play for a throw to be taken by Morrell. Throws it inside to Blissett. David Mayle behind him. Tries to turn him, but Mayle's read it nicely and covered him and gets in a good challenge. And that wasn't a very good challenge by Atkins. And the referee plays advantage. Peacock. And a second challenge by Atkins, and he could be in trouble here. That's 2 challenges on the trot on Matthew Holmes. Both after Holmes had played the ball past him. In fact, the referee has decided that an admonishing word is enough. I'm not certain Holmes is satisfied. I think he felt that the yellow card should have been displayed. And I think Atkins can count himself lucky after 2 challenges within about 30 seconds. Miller wins that, but a poor ball forward. Stapleton ends it forward. Cut out by Peacock though. Gets another opportunity and this time finds Reed. But Bond puts it downfield, as Atkins does as well. Ball bouncing around. Nobody really getting full control of it until Peacock plays it wide to Lawrence. Moulden up with him. Lawrence. Blissett runs to his right hand side. Lawrence retains possession very well. Finds Shearer, gets plenty of power behind it, but about 5 or 6 yards wide. Atkins now. Kennedy, but it won't stay in play. Morrell quickly into the challenge, but Peacock plays a very poor ball. It's probably the best pass Sellers has had all afternoon. Can he take on Bond? He certainly can. Tried to beat Peyton along the deck, but he dropped on it like a stone and prevented the ball running loose as well, and now clears it up to the halfway line. Bit ironic really that first opportunity of this half should fall to Sellers from a poor pass from a Bournemouth player. Sellers obviously fouled by Williams. I can only assume that the referee had played advantage, which didn't pay off, because Bond managed to knock the ball against Sellers and in fact win a throw. But a number of Rovers players getting frustrated with the way the game is going so far. Just reached the hour mark. and Bournemouth 1-0 in the lead. Mail chests it down, pushes it to Gale, looks for support but just hammers it straight against Nicky Reid, who had no chance of collecting it. And that seemed obstruction on Shearer, but nothing given. Perhaps the referee's decided that he's going to let the game flow more now. Let's hope so. Atkins, Kennedy right of him, finds him. Sellers to swing it in with his left foot. Flicked on and into the corner of the net. A beautiful goal there. Beautifully flighted in by Sellers. And Atkins flicks it into the far corner of the net to equalise for the Rovers and score his 4th goal of the season. Well, would you believe it? They've had umpteen free kicks over the right-hand side of the pitch. Everyone has been taken by Atkins, and the first time they decide to vary it, Sellers takes it, and Atkins himself in the middle of the blocks flicks it on beautifully past Jerry Peyton's outstretched arms as he dives and finds the corner of the net to put the Rovers level. And here we go again with Sellers. Kennedy unmarked in the middle if he can find him. Far post, down on the deck, and a penalty. Well, I was talking in the first half about a few hearts missing a beat if the Rovers got a penalty, and they have got one now. Less than a minute after Atkins scored the equaliser, Howard Gale has now got the responsibility of seeing if he can give the Rovers the lead from this penalty. He scored against Stoke City last week, although Peter Fox got his hand to it and would possibly count himself unlucky not to prevent it entering the net. It's not going to count. I think Williams was protesting and had entered the box, protesting that Howard Gale was taking too long overtaking the penalty kick. Seems a bit unfortunate that it should be a Bournemouth player who offends, and yet the Rovers are denied a goal as the hoodoo returns and Howard Gale puts it wide of the post. But how can it be right that when a Bournemouth player offends and the Rovers find the net, that the referee orders a retake? And the Rovers have suffered the consequences of that as Howard Gale put the ball wide of the post, trying to find that same corner of the net as he had at the first attempt. Seems totally unfair, but there it is, and we're still level. Rovers 1, Bournemouth 1, as the ball comes into the box, runs loose, and Sean Teale quite relieved to smack it behind for a corner. Let's hope the Rovers don't pay the price for missing that penalty. It's happened so many times recently that when the Rovers have missed one, it's led to either lost points or, as in the case against Aston Villa, possibly elimination from the Cup. In it comes, cleared out to the edge. Nicky Reid, Stapleton, inside to Sellers. Wide to Stapleton. Nicky Reid inside him, but he turns neatly. Taking on Holmes. Inside to Sellers. Suddenly the game's come to life now. But that'll deaden it very quickly. Poor cross like that. But away comes Lawrence on the break. Moulden and Blissett in the middle. He cuts inside himself. Shoots on goal and over the top. Blasts it over Terry Geno's outstretched arms. Geno downfield. Williams wins it in the air. I think it was actually Williams who took Sellers down for the penalty. Just shows that if we played it on the deck against Williams, it might produce better results. He's absolutely dominated the play in the air. That ball running out to this far right hand side, throwing about 5-10 yards away from the corner flag. Atkins to take it. Kennedy holds off the challenge and finds Atkins. Tries to get to the byline, succeeds and pulls it back. Howard Gale gets to it but can only find a Bournemouth defender. Gale in the challenge again. Williams up in the air, anybody's ball. Drops the Rovers way. Morrell brought down. She'll think about 30 yards out. Now can the free kick pay off again? So Sellers to take it. Blasts it way over the top into the sparse crowd of Bournemouth supporters behind the Darwin end. Sellers flicks it neatly inside to Gale. Miller tries to plant it forward but only finds the broad back of Peter Shearer. And Rovers get the throw. Well, if we had a pretty boring, uneventful first half, we've had drama aplenty in this second half. And we can say that about most of the games at Ewood Park this season. Plenty to keep the conversations going in the pub on a Saturday night. As this cross goes in, Peyton punches it clear. Miller tries to find his way into an unattended net as Peyton was trying to make up the ground, but puts it about 3 yards wide. And that equalising goal from Mark Atkins was actually his 4th of the season, keeping up his prolific record of scoring from the right back position. Most of them coming from supporting play in the penalty area at corners or free kicks, which is how that goal came today. Certainly haven't missed Chris Price's goal since Mark Atkins joined us from Scunthorpe. Not seen very much of Blissett in this half. And there's a long ball downfield now, but Williams wins it. The Rovers with a chance to keep the game running towards the Bournemouth goal with this throw from Atkins. Stapleton up the line, Kennedy inside, and it's Kennedy who it goes to. Turns, but Morrell picks it up. Mail launches a high ball forward. Shearer clears, only as far as Atkins. Stapleton plays the return ball, but Atkins loses control of it. And the Rovers for the time being have got Bournemouth penned in their own half. What they desperately need is a goal to give them that ever so valuable lead. Stapleton to Atkins. Can he have a blast from there? Plays a 1-2. Pulls it back from the line. Only finds the top of the netting. Always very dangerous once he gets down that byline. Put some very dangerous crosses in. One of which produced a goal last week against Stoke City for Scott Sellers. Morrell wins it. Miller picks it up in midfield. Bounces off Kennedy's shoulder fortuitously. Gale goes down, but no free kick given. Suppose having complained about all the free kicks in the first half, we can't complain when he decides to play on. David Mail and Atkins got a vital foot in there, and so did Sellers. Rovers beginning to win these 50-50 balls now. Howard Gale limping back after that challenge by Williams. Kennedy under this. Ball runs after a ricochet to Sully, who finds Sellers. Forced inside and then fouled by Peter Shearer. And yet again the referee going to have words. Well, Bournemouth seem to have settled down in the second division now. This is the third season in this division. They came up from the third division 3 years ago as champions with an astonishing record of 97 points. They were their 17th in the second division in the first season, and then 12th last season, and they're currently lying in 12th position this season. Now seem to have consolidated their place, and will be looking, if possible, to start challenging for promotion. Whether they're strong enough to do that this season, only time will tell. But obviously a crucial signing in the close season was somebody to partner Luther Blissett up front, and that signing of Paul Moulden has definitely paid off, as him and Blissett have formed a very positive partnership up front. More running loose. Lawrence picking it up. He's looked dangerous when he's loped towards goal. Blissett tried to go round Morrell, but he beat him to it. Otherwise it could have been a dangerous moment for the Rovers. That ball cleared. Strong challenge by Atkins. Collision between Gale and Sean Teale off the ball. And a very good challenge there from David Mail. And in fact the first substitution of the match, number 14, Trevor Aylott, surprisingly enough coming on to replace the Bournemouth goal scorer Paul Moulden. Trevor Aylott making his first appearance of the season, having been out with an ankle injury. I suppose what they're hoping for now is that Trevor Aylott will give them some more height up front. Very rumbustious character, who, as we know from his days at Barnsley. Sure, Morrell will give as good as he gets in what I'm sure are going to be very physical challenges with Trevor Aylott. But now the ball's at the other end, up towards the halfway line, with Gale trying to find Sellers. Challenge just results in a free kick. In a throw-in, sorry. Flicked on by Stapleton to Kennedy, who returns it to Stapleton. Kennedy free on the right-hand side. Can he put a good cross in? Sellers under it. And Sellers penalised. Frustration seems to have been coming back into both the crowd and the Rovers play at the moment. Could all have been relieved if only our Gale had stroked the retake into the corner of the net to put the Rovers ahead, and then perhaps they would have gone on and had a convincing victory. Whereas it's still stalemate, one each, with quarter of an hour to go. And comes the second substitution of the match. As Howard Gale unfortunately had an ineffectual match today, summed up by his missed penalty. And the man coming on to replace him, Simon Garner. Trevor Aylott showing his power in the air, which is all we expect, but can't get any power behind that one, just lobs it up to the far post and Geno collects. And there's Garner, not only getting his first touch on the ball, but his first challenge in the back from Sean Teale. More and forward, picked up on the edge of the box by Kennedy, but only finds a bunch of Bournemouth players and they clear it out to David Mail. Stapleton heads on, can Atkins keep it in? Just under challenge from Blissett, right in the corner, and wins the throw. David Mail coming forward. Perhaps we've been taking lessons from David May, and he's going to try a long throw. Kennedy on the near post, but not far enough. Only cleared out to Atkins. Shoots over the top. The Rovers will look for more joy up front. What I consider to be the best striking partnership for the Rovers out there now. Simon Garner, having scored 13 goals this season, joins Andy Kennedy, who's got 10. And if they need any help, further over to the left is Scott Sellers, who's also in double figures with 10. So plenty of goal scoring power out there, and the Rovers are going to need it to win this match. Bournemouth are likely to pull more and more men back now as the game drifts away. That's Garner trying to find Kennedy, picks up the loose ball. Sellers, the three big goal scorers together, but only results in a poor cross going straight to Jerry Peyton. Miller foul this time. Looking for a quick one, but Shearer prevents him taking it. And Aylott does the same as David Mail looked to take a quick one. And it comes now. Kennedy on the edge of the box. Williams wins it. Miller loses out and has to foul Shearer in order to prevent the break from Bournemouth. Long ball, but it won't count for anything. Trevor Aylott is offside. Geno, a long ball halfway inside the Bournemouth half, finds Kennedy, flicks on to Garner and then gets it back. Miller plays it wide to Sully. Garner, quite eager to get on, I should think. Simon Garner doesn't like missing matches. Wouldn't it be nice to see him get the winner here now? Stapleton to Atkins, pulls away from Aylott and Blissett. Miller puts it over the far side. No chance of Simon Garner keeping that one in. One connection the Rovers have still got with Bournemouth is that Bournemouth's coach is Terry Shanahan. I don't remember if you remember him playing for the Rovers. Sure, the Rovers officials will make him very welcome on his return to the club today. Well, the Rovers have beaten Bournemouth in the 2 games here at Ewood Park since they got promoted from the 3rd division. Won 2-0 last season, with Atkins scoring one of the goals on that occasion, and 3-1 in the previous season. So let's see if they can repeat it this afternoon, as Williams is beaten to the ball by Miller, resulting in a throw to Bournemouth, which Kevin Bond will take. Signalling his men back, presumably looking for a long one, and it is. Williams flicks it on. Stapleton heads clear, but only as far as Peacock. Ball up the line, but the offside flag raised, and Kevin Bond given offside. Game gone a bit dead now. I just hope it's not going to die away. Kennedy trying to liven it up. Reid pushing it back to Atkins as Bournemouth push more and more people back to protect this 1 point that they have at the present time. Although I'm sure they'll try and get another on the break. It's Shearer now up to Lawrence. Poor ball inside, only finds Miller. Garner loses control of it. Don't see how he can have complaints about the ball. It was his own poor control that let him down then. It's a bit of time wasting by Bournemouth. But Peyton now hits this ball downfield, trying to find Trevor Aylott. Both him and Moran wondering where Moran's wondering where the ball's gone. It's safely back with David Mail. Sully pushing forward. Garner available, but tightly marked. Sully tries to find Nicky Reid round the far left-hand side, but the ball rebounds out of play off him. Lawrence inside, runs loose, but Stapleton collects it. A very good game, Frank Stapleton, today. Any loose ball, he's been around to pick it up and put some very firm challenges in midfield. Kennedy takes it down on his chest and gives it to Miller. Plays it further back still to Atkins. Very good play by Sully there to bring that ball down. And gets it back now. Cross over to the far side. Cut out by Morrell. And a free kick given just inside the penalty area. Blissett flicks on. Atkins to Mail. Rovers not bothering playing the ball back to the goalkeeper. They want to keep the ball moving forward as much as possible. Obviously the onus is on them to try and get a winner. This is Williams on the deck. Not getting much sympathy at all from the Rovers public as a physiotherapist comes running on to have a look at him. Myself, I think he's had a good game. Williams has done a lot to blunt this Rovers attack down the middle. It looks as though we may have another substitution. In fact, it really will be confusing, because Mark Newson the other substitute, has got a number 14 on his back. And we've already got Trevor Aylott out on the pitch with a number 14 on his back. I just wonder if anybody will spot this, if he does actually make his way onto the pitch. Surprising how when the St John's ambulance men run out with a stretcher, a player seems to make a miraculous recovery. But in fact Williams, although he's turned down the stretcher, is limping off the pitch. And presumably Mark Newson will take his place. Yes, on he comes now. With 4 minutes left. And we're completely breaking the laws here because we've got two number 14s on the pitch. The referee, having a word, has spotted it immediately. And off comes Mr. Newson, presumably to come back on with a different numbered shirt. First time I've ever seen that. Quite amazing really at the professional level that should happen. Very sloppy on Bournemouth's part. And they're now playing with 10 men as a result. Scramble on the edge of the box, comes clear to Lawrence. Holds off 2 challenges but loses out. And the Rovers come forward through Sellers. Kennedy flicks it on. And it's the other number 14, Trevor Aylott, who clears it behind for a corner. Now will Bournemouth pay the price for their incompetence? There's no sign yet of Mike Newson returning. So Bournemouth still with 10 men. As John Miller takes this corner. In it comes, poor one. But he gets a second chance now for a better cross. Morrell up, runs loose. Kennedy, Sellers, both go flying in. And so does Jerry Peyton amongst all the feet and collects the ball as Mark Newson arrives on the touchline, this time with a legitimate number 12 on his back. Just 2 minutes to go now, plus any injury time that might be added on. And at the moment it looks as though it's going to be another disappointing draw here at Ewood Park. There have been 6 already and we can't afford many more. You really do have to start picking up 3 points from the home matches. I felt after last week's convincing performance that it would be another 3 points today and a move into the promotion pack. But it's just resulting in the moment in another disappointing display. And probably another disappointing result. And of course, another missed penalty. And boy oh boy have the Rovers suffered for those. Bournemouth coming forward. Quite happy, I should think, as the game drifts away now into the final minute or so. As Newson slowly makes his way up the line to take the throw. And that free kick goes Bournemouth's way. Peacock brought down by Miller. Stapleton clears. Picked up by Sellers. Kennedy over this side. Can he get to it? I doubt it. No. Morrell turns away from him. Puts the ball up the line himself. But out to play. Morrell takes it. Reed lets it run past him. Was a bit fortunate to get the free kick for obstruction. And then clatters into Holmes, who doesn't take kindly to it. But just another sign of the frustration Sellers. Kennedy flicks on. Offside flag up, but the referee decides to keep the game going as we reach full time. Just any injury time that Mr. Reid may decide to add on now. As Mail whacks it downfield. Garner in the charge. Tidied up by Peacock and cleared up the line by Teale. And runs out of play. Morrell up the line. Finds Aylott. Keeps it in and plays it back to him. Too far ahead of his forwards. Geno surely going to whack this downfield and hope that it produces the winning goal. The opportunity's there now as Sellers cuts in. Puts a very poor ball over. I think he was trying to find Andy Kennedy on this far side, but surely he would have been better continuing his run into the box. And then either trying to pick his spot or squaring it low and hard to the far side to try to find Kennedy. Perhaps desperation got the better of him and he just ballooned it over the bar. Another opportunity drifts away from the Rovers. And it looks more and more like a 1-1 draw, which I'm sure will please Bournemouth. Long throw down the line. Into play and then out again. So the throwing goes Bournemouth's way. Newson not in any great hurry. Now finds Blissett. And there goes the final whistle. So the 7th draw in 14 matches here at Ewood Park. The Rovers have now drawn exactly half of the games. And another opportunity to pick up a victory goes to waste. Bournemouth, after a goalless first half, took the lead 4 minutes into the second half through Paul Moulden. And then on the hour mark, Mark Atkins equalised, flicking on a free kick from Scott Sellers. And a minute later, a golden opportunity as a penalty was given for a challenge on Scott Sellers. Howard Gale put his first attempt in the corner of the net, but was called back by the referee, who ordered a retake because of John Williams' protests. And this time Howard Gale put it wide of the post. And the hoodoo strikes again, as after a disappointing game, the result is Blackburn Rovers 1, AFC Bournemouth